Welcome to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, where we explore the mysteries of the Zodiac and uncover the deeper truths that shape our lives. Today, we're delving into one of the most fascinating signs, Scorpio. Scorpios are often seen as mysterious, intense, and unpredictable, but there's more to them than meets the eye. In this video, we'll uncover hidden traits that define Scorpios' complex personality and reveal why they behave the way they do. From their emotional guard to their fierce need for independence, Scorpios are known for their emotional depth and loyalty. But it's their hidden side, the one that most people overlook, that truly defines how they navigate the world. If you've ever wondered what makes Scorpio so captivating yet hard to understand, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand Scorpio better but also gain valuable insights into your own life and relationships. You'll discover how Scorpio's traits, from their intensity to their passion, can teach us important lessons in trust, love, and personal growth. Make sure to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life for more fascinating insights into the Zodiac and personal development. Let's dive into the mysterious world of Scorpio. 1. Emotional guard, the shield of a Scorpio. One of the first and most well-known traits of Scorpio is their emotional guard. Scorpios have an innate ability to keep their emotions hidden, often behind a tough, unapproachable exterior. This emotional protection is not something they do out of malice, but rather as a result of deep-rooted experiences and a desire to protect themselves from being hurt. This behavior is especially prevalent when it comes to relationships, friendships, and even family dynamics. At first glance, a Scorpio may appear cold, distant, or even indifferent. But this is merely a defense mechanism, a way of keeping their vulnerability safe from the world. They will rarely open up to others unless they are certain that the person can be trusted completely. It's not easy for a Scorpio to let someone into their emotional world, but once they do, their loyalty is unmatched. Real-life example. Imagine a Scorpio who you know casually. At first, they may seem emotionally detached, not offering much about their personal life. You might even feel like they're uninterested or aloof. But over time, you begin to realize that their seeming coldness is simply a shield. When they finally open up, you see a person with deep emotions, intense passion, and loyalty beyond measure. This is the moment when you realize the emotional depth a Scorpio truly has, something they only share with those they trust. Advice. If you have a Scorpio in your life, understand that their emotional guard doesn't mean they don't care. It means they are carefully assessing whether or not you are worthy of knowing their true self. Be patient and give them the time they need. The key here is trust. If you show that you are someone who values honesty and authenticity, you'll be rewarded with a connection that is powerful and enduring. 2. Reluctance to trust, the Scorpio test. Scorpios have one of the sharpest intuitions in the Zodiac. Their ability to detect dishonesty and gauge the authenticity of others is uncanny. However, this remarkable skill also makes them highly cautious when it comes to trust. They won't give their trust away easily, and it's something that has to be earned over time. A Scorpio will observe, listen, and feel out the energy of the people around them before they make any decisions about opening up emotionally. This reluctance to trust can sometimes make Scorpios appear paranoid or overly cautious. They have a deep-seated fear of betrayal, which is rooted in past experiences where they've been hurt or deceived. Because of this, they have extremely high standards when it comes to who they allow into their inner circle. Once trust is broken, it can be very difficult, if not impossible, for the relationship to be repaired. Real-life example. Think about a situation where a Scorpio in your life has been hurt before. Perhaps they were betrayed by someone close to them. Now, when it comes to forming new relationships, they may be hesitant or reserved. They might question the motives of new acquaintances, not because they want to mistrust them, but because they've learned the hard way that not everyone is sincere. While this can create tension, it's important to recognize that a Scorpio's wariness comes from a place of self-preservation. Advice. If you're a Scorpio or dealing with one, It's important to acknowledge and understand this reluctance to trust. For Scorpios, building trust is a gradual process. If you want to build a relationship with a Scorpio, patience is key. Show them your loyalty through actions, not just words. Trust is something that's earned slowly, but once it's given, it's steadfast and unbreakable. 3. The need for independence, Scorpios' desire for freedom. Scorpios are fiercely independent individuals who value their personal space and freedom above all else. This independence is not about avoiding relationships or being emotionally distant, but rather about maintaining control over their own life. Scorpios want to be the masters of their destiny and will go to great lengths to ensure they retain their autonomy. They do not appreciate being controlled or confined by anyone. Whether it's in a romantic relationship, a friendship, or a professional setting. This need for independence can make Scorpios seem unpredictable or emotionally distant at times. They might withdraw from relationships or situations that they feel are encroaching on their freedom. While others might view this behavior as cold or detached, it's simply a defense mechanism. Scorpios need to feel in control of their lives and decisions. Real-life example. Let's consider a Scorpio who is in a relationship. Initially, everything may seem perfect, but over time, they might start feeling overwhelmed if they feel like their personal freedom is being restricted. They may start pulling back or even end the relationship if they feel their independence is threatened. This is not because they don't care about the relationship, but because they value their personal space and autonomy deeply. It's important to understand that for a Scorpio, their independence is non-negotiable. Advice. If you're in a relationship with a Scorpio, respect their need for independence. Give them space to pursue their personal interests and goals. The more freedom you allow them, the more secure and fulfilled they'll feel in the relationship. On the other hand, if you're a Scorpio, be mindful of how your need for independence can affect those around you. While personal space is important, make sure to strike a balance that allows you to nurture the relationships that matter most to you. 4. Dominant sexual nature, the power of intensity. When it comes to intimacy, Scorpios are known for their intense sexual energy. Their approach to sex is not just about physical pleasure, it's an emotional, psychological, and deeply personal experience for them. Scorpios view sexual encounters as a transformative experience, where they seek to connect with their partner on a deeper level. Their dominant sexual nature is not about control for the sake of control, but about creating a powerful, intimate bond that can change both parties involved. This intense and passionate approach can be overwhelming for those who aren't accustomed to such depth. Scorpios are not interested in casual relationships or fleeting connections, they crave intensity and transformation. For Scorpios, sexual experiences are about more than just physical satisfaction. They seek an emotional and mental connection that transcends the physical act itself. Real-life example. A Scorpio in a relationship might seem to demand a lot in terms of emotional engagement, but what they truly desire is a deep and meaningful connection. They don't just want to share their body, they want to share their soul. If you're with a Scorpio, you may notice that the physical act of intimacy becomes something far more profound. It's a chance for both partners to connect on a deeper, transformative level. This is where the Scorpio's passion shines brightest. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, embrace your powerful sexual energy, but be mindful of how it affects your relationships. Remember that not everyone may be able to handle or appreciate the intensity you bring to intimacy. Communicate openly with your partner about your desires and needs. For those dating a Scorpio, understand that their need for intense connection is part of their nature. Meet them halfway by engaging emotionally and mentally, not just physically. 5. Possessiveness in love, a Scorpio's intense loyalty. Scorpios are incredibly loyal, but with this loyalty comes a sense of possessiveness. Once a Scorpio forms a deep emotional bond with someone, they become fiercely protective of that person. They demand loyalty and devotion in return for their own commitment. This can sometimes translate into possessiveness, as they have a deep fear of betrayal or abandonment. This possessiveness comes from a place of love and loyalty, not control. Scorpios expect their relationships to be reciprocal, and they won't tolerate dishonesty or disloyalty. If they feel their partner is not giving as much as they are, they may become suspicious or even resentful. It's important for Scorpios to find a balance between loyalty and independence, as excessive possessiveness can strain relationships. Real-life example. A Scorpio in a romantic relationship might start to feel threatened if their partner spends too much time away or seems to be emotionally distant. This isn't about control, but rather a deep need to feel secure and valued. If a Scorpio feels their partner is not fully committed, they may begin to act possessively or even lash out in frustration. Advice. For Scorpios, learning to manage their possessiveness is important for maintaining healthy relationships. Focus on open communication with your partner about your needs and concerns. For those dating a Scorpio, be understanding of their intense loyalty and need for security. Reassure them through consistent actions that you are committed, but also make sure to maintain your own personal space and boundaries. 6. Resistance to change. Scorpio's stubbornness in maintaining control. Scorpios are not fans of change. They thrive in stable, controlled environments where they can predict and manage their circumstances. For this reason, they may resist change, whether it's in relationships, work, or personal life. Scorpios feel most comfortable when they have control over their surroundings, and any significant shift can feel like a disruption to their sense of security. This resistance to change is often tied to their deep desire for stability and control. They do not like being thrown into uncertainty or feeling like their environment is slipping out of their grasp. This trait can make Scorpios seem stubborn or inflexible, but it's simply their way of protecting their inner peace. Real-life example. Imagine a Scorpio who's worked for years in the same job, and suddenly, a restructuring or promotion opportunity comes up. They may feel threatened or uneasy about the prospect of having to adapt to a new role or work environment. This resistance isn't out of laziness, but rather a deep-rooted need to maintain stability. They may prefer familiar routines and environments, and a sudden shift could feel overwhelming. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, it's essential to recognize when change is necessary for growth and progress. While it's important to protect your stability, learning to embrace change in small doses can be beneficial in the long run. For those in relationships with Scorpios, be patient with their resistance to change. Gently help them see the positive aspects of change and allow them to process it in their own time. 7. Sharp intuition. Scorpio's sixth sense. One of Scorpio's most powerful traits is their exceptional intuition. They have an innate ability to sense things that are not immediately obvious to others. Scorpios often know things without being told, picking up on subtle cues or unspoken emotions that others may miss. This gift for perceiving hidden truths gives them a distinct advantage in relationships, work, and life decisions. Their intuitive nature helps them navigate through life's complexities, enabling them to read people and situations with uncanny accuracy. While this can be an asset, it can also be a challenge for Scorpios, as they may become overly reliant on their instincts and start to doubt people or situations unnecessarily. Real-life example. Consider a Scorpio who enters a new friendship or relationship. They may instantly sense if someone is hiding something or if there is a lack of sincerity, even if there is no concrete evidence. This intuitive ability allows them to avoid potential deceit or betrayal, helping them protect themselves and their loved ones from harm. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, trust your intuition but be mindful of overanalyzing situations. While your instincts are usually right, make sure you're not misinterpreting people's intentions. For those interacting with Scorpios, respect their intuitive nature and be transparent in your dealings with them. They can often see right through insincerity, and honesty will go a long way in gaining their trust. 8. Unforgiving nature. Scorpios struggle with betrayal. Scorpios are known for their ability to hold on to grudges. Once trust is broken, it's extremely difficult for them to forgive, and they tend to carry emotional wounds for a long time. Betrayal, whether in love, friendship, or work, is something Scorpios take very seriously. They see betrayal as a deep violation, and it's something they are unlikely to forget, sometimes even for a lifetime. This unforgiving nature is rooted in Scorpios' emotional depth. When they invest their time and energy into someone or something, they do so with full intensity. So when that trust is betrayed, the hurt runs deeply, and their emotional response can be overwhelming. Scorpios are less likely to offer second chances unless they truly believe that the betrayal can be rectified. Real-life example. Think of a situation where a Scorpio is deeply hurt by a close friend or partner. Even after the person apologizes, the Scorpio might not easily accept the apology. The betrayal stays with them, and it can be a long time before they feel they can truly trust again. This isn't a sign of weakness, but rather an intense emotional processing that Scorpios go through when their trust is broken. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, consider working on forgiveness. Not just for others but for yourself as well. Holding on to grudges can block your personal growth and happiness. While it's important to protect yourself, also recognize that sometimes forgiveness can be an act of self-liberation. For those with Scorpios in their lives, understanding that betrayal is difficult for them is key. Don't expect quick forgiveness, allow them the time they need to heal. 9. Extreme directness, Scorpio's brutal honesty. Scorpios are known for their brutal honesty. When they have something to say, they say it, often with little concern for how it might make others feel. While this directness can be refreshing and admirable, it can also come across as harsh or even rude. Scorpios are not afraid to speak their minds, and they value honesty above all else. Their directness stems from their belief that truth is paramount. They don't have the time or patience for pretenses or small talk. If something is on their mind, they will express it without sugarcoating or beating around the bush. This can make interactions with Scorpios feel intense, as they don't hold back in sharing their thoughts, opinions, or feelings. Real-life example. Imagine you're in a conversation with a Scorpio, and they tell you exactly what they think about a situation, without holding back. While their honesty might be uncomfortable, it's coming from a place of truth. A Scorpio will respect you more if you can handle their bluntness and respond with your own honesty. Their approach to communication may be jarring at first, but it builds a foundation of trust and transparency. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, be mindful of how your directness affects others. While your honesty is a strength, consider the delivery of your message. It's possible to be direct while also being empathetic to the feelings of others. For those who interact with Scorpios, understand that their intention is not to offend but to get to the heart of the matter. Appreciate their honesty, even if it's a bit hard to hear at times. 10. High libido, Scorpios' intense desire for connection. Scorpios are well known for their strong sexual energy, and it is often one of the first things that comes to mind when people think of this sign. However, their libido is more than just physical desire. It's an emotional and psychological need for connection. Scorpios see sex as a deeply transformative experience that connects them on multiple levels with their partner. For Scorpios, sexual intimacy is a way to forge a deeper bond, not just a physical release. Their intense desire for connection through sex often leads them to be very passionate and committed partners. They want their relationships to be full of depth and meaning, and their sexual energy is just one way they express their emotional devotion. Real-life example. A Scorpio in a committed relationship will likely expect the connection to be more than just physical. For them, intimacy is an extension of their emotional connection, and they desire to feel deeply bonded with their partner. If they sense that their partner is not emotionally invested, it can create distance and frustration for them. This intensity can sometimes be overwhelming for less intense signs, but for Scorpios, it's an essential part of the relationship. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, understand that your need for emotional and physical intimacy can be overwhelming for some. Communicate openly with your partner about your desires and find balance in your relationship. For those with Scorpios in your life, recognize that their high libido is part of their emotional need for deep connection. If you're not on the same page, having an open discussion about desires and boundaries will help keep the relationship harmonious. 11. The fear of losing control. Scorpios' need for mastery. Scorpios have a deep-seated fear of losing control, especially in their personal lives or relationships. They are natural-born leaders who feel most comfortable when they are in charge of their own world. This need for control manifests in various aspects of their life, from their career to their romantic relationships, and even in their emotional well-being. For Scorpios, losing control equates to vulnerability. And this is something they try to avoid at all costs. They might become anxious or distant if they feel like they are losing grip on their circumstances. This can sometimes make them seem domineering. But it's really their way of protecting themselves from emotional turmoil or chaos. Real-life example. Imagine a Scorpio at work who is given a project but sees it slipping out of their control. They might start taking over tasks, double-checking every detail, and becoming more hands-on. This intense desire for control can sometimes alienate others, but it's driven by their need to feel secure in the situation. Similarly, in relationships, a Scorpio may struggle if they sense that their partner is becoming emotionally distant or taking control of the relationship in a way that threatens their sense of stability. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, learning to embrace uncertainty in small doses can be a helpful tool for growth. For those dealing with Scorpios, it's important to recognize their need for control and help them feel secure. But also encourage them to let go and trust the process when needed. 12. The constant pursuit of truth. Scorpios' relentless search for answers. Scorpios are on a perpetual quest for truth. They are not satisfied with surface-level explanations or simple answers. They have a deep curiosity and a need to understand the hidden motivations behind everything and everyone. This often leads them to ask difficult questions, probe into people's lives, and dig deeper than most other signs are willing to do. This search for truth can sometimes make Scorpios seem secretive or even invasive. Their need for clarity in every situation leads them to uncover things that others might want to keep hidden. They are not satisfied with vague responses or lies, and they will push until they get to the heart of the matter. Real-life example. Imagine a Scorpio in a relationship who senses something is wrong, even though their partner insists everything is fine. Rather than accepting this at face value, the Scorpio will dig deeper, asking probing questions, reading between the lines, and trying to uncover the truth. While this can feel intense, it's their way of ensuring there is full transparency. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, remember that while your pursuit of truth is admirable, sometimes not all things need to be uncovered. Respect people's boundaries, and be aware that some truths may be painful or not ready to be revealed. For others, if you encounter a Scorpio's probing questions, understand that their intent is not to invade your privacy but to understand the reality of the situation. Open communication is key. 13. The ability to adapt and transform. Scorpio's capacity for reinvention. Scorpios are naturally transformational individuals, capable of great personal reinvention. They are ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation, which means that they are constantly evolving, whether in their careers, relationships, or spiritual growth. Scorpios are often drawn to periods of self-reflection, introspection, and reinvention. This transformational energy gives them the ability to rise from their own ashes, much like the mythical phoenix. Even after experiencing hardship, loss, or betrayal, Scorpios have an uncanny ability to emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Real-life example. Consider a Scorpio who goes through a difficult breakup or career setback. While others might struggle to recover, the Scorpio uses the experience to learn, grow, and reinvent themselves. They may pick up new skills, change their mindset, or even change their career path entirely. The transformation is not just external but deeply internal, as they go through a process of self-discovery. Advice: if you're a Scorpio, embrace the power of transformation, but remember that personal growth takes time. It's okay to lean on others during difficult times, but trust in your ability to rise above challenges. For those around Scorpios, support them in their transformative journey, but also recognize their need for solitude and space to reflect. 14. Scorpios can be extremely loyal and protective. When a Scorpio forms a bond with someone, they become incredibly loyal and protective. They don't take relationships lightly, whether romantic or platonic. Once they've committed to someone, they will go to great lengths to protect and defend that person. For Scorpios, loyalty is a two-way street, and they expect the same level of devotion in return. This loyalty can sometimes be so intense that it borders on possessiveness, as Scorpios will fiercely guard their loved ones. This protective nature is rooted in a deep sense of caring and the need to shield those they love from harm or betrayal. Real-life example: if a Scorpio's friend is wronged by someone, the Scorpio will be the first to step up and defend them, sometimes even going as far as confronting the person who caused harm. This loyalty extends to their partner as well, where they will show unwavering support and expect the same in return. Advice: if you're a Scorpio, recognize that while your loyalty is a great strength, it's important to maintain healthy boundaries and trust your loved ones without smothering them. For those in Scorpio's life, appreciate the depth of their loyalty but also communicate openly to avoid misunderstandings or feelings of suffocation. 15. Scorpios' need for privacy and emotional space. Scorpios are deeply private individuals. They value their personal space and are often reserved about their feelings. While they can be open to those they trust, they still prefer to keep much of their internal world hidden. This need for privacy is linked to their intense emotional nature. They don't want to expose themselves to judgment or vulnerability unless they feel safe. This can make Scorpios seem distant or emotionally unavailable, but it's simply their way of maintaining control over their emotional landscape. They need time to process their thoughts and feelings before sharing them with others. Real-life example: a Scorpio might retreat to their personal space after a difficult day, not because they don't care, but because they need time to recharge and process. If someone intrudes on that space or pushes them to open up before they're ready, it can lead to frustration or emotional withdrawal. Advice: if you're a Scorpio, allow yourself to seek privacy when needed, but also recognize that openness can foster deeper connections with others. For those in relationships with Scorpios, respect their need for space, but also offer a supportive environment where they feel comfortable sharing their thoughts when they're ready. 16. Scorpios' strong sense of justice and fairness. Scorpios have a deeply ingrained sense of justice. They are highly attuned to when things feel unfair, whether it's in their personal relationships, work, or society. Scorpios often have strong convictions about what is right and wrong, and they will go to great lengths to ensure justice is served. This sense of fairness can make Scorpios passionate advocates for others, particularly those who cannot stand up for themselves. They are not afraid to confront injustice, even if it means taking a stand against authority or challenging societal norms. Real-life example: imagine a Scorpio witnessing an injustice at work, such as a colleague being unfairly treated. They will not remain passive, instead, they will speak up, confront the issue, and fight for what they believe is right, even if it means risking their own comfort or security. Advice: if you're a Scorpio, channel your strong sense of justice into positive change. Stand up for what's right, but be mindful of how your passion for fairness might be perceived by others. For those in Scorpio's circle, understand their need for fairness and support their efforts to create balance in the world around them. 17. Scorpio's secretive nature in love. Scorpios are notoriously private about their emotions, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. While they may feel deeply, they don't always express their feelings openly, even to those they love. Scorpios want to protect themselves from being vulnerable and will carefully guard their affections until they feel they can trust the other person completely. This secretive nature can make Scorpios seem distant or enigmatic, but it's simply their way of protecting their emotional well-being. They don't give their love lightly, and they want to ensure that their feelings are reciprocated before they fully open up. Real-life example. A Scorpio in love might not immediately declare their feelings. They may wait for the right moment or carefully observe their partner's behavior before fully committing. They'll likely hold back on expressing their affections, but when they do, it's with deep sincerity and loyalty. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, learn to express your emotions in healthy ways, as sharing your feelings can lead to stronger, more intimate connections. For those who love a Scorpio, be patient and understanding of their need to guard their emotions. Give them the time they need to trust and open up to you. 18. Scorpio's ability to hide pain behind a smile. Scorpios are experts at concealing their inner turmoil, even when they are facing personal struggles or deep emotional pain. They often present a calm and composed exterior. This ability to mask their feelings is rooted in their strong sense of emotional control. They don't want to burden others with their pain and prefer to handle their emotions privately. This trait can make Scorpios seem stoic or even cold to others, as they are often able to maintain a facade of strength while silently battling their own demons. However, beneath this exterior, they feel deeply, and their pain can run much deeper than anyone realizes. Real-life example. A Scorpio might be going through a tough time, such as the loss of a loved one. But they continue to go about their daily life, smiling and interacting with others as though nothing is wrong. This is their way of coping and maintaining control over their emotions, even when they are struggling internally. Advice. If you're a Scorpio, allow yourself to seek support when you need it. Hiding your pain may seem like strength, but sharing your feelings with trusted individuals can help you heal. For those who know a Scorpio, be aware that their calm exterior doesn't always reflect what they're feeling inside. Be there for them, offering support when they're ready to open up. Embracing Scorpio's complexity and applying these traits. Scorpios are one of the most dynamic, intense, and mysterious signs in the zodiac. Their depth, loyalty, and complexity create an aura that both fascinates and sometimes intimidates. From their emotional guard to their unwavering sense of justice, Scorpios bring a unique energy to the world. Understanding their traits, whether it's their need for control, their intense passions, or their loyalty, can help you build deeper connections with them and even apply these lessons to your own life. For Scorpios, embracing both their strengths and vulnerabilities is key to living a fulfilled and harmonious life. For those around Scorpios, patience, understanding, and respect for their emotional depth will strengthen your relationships with them. In the end, Scorpios' transformation, loyalty, and emotional power make them unforgettable, and once you truly understand them, you will see the beauty in their complexity. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life for more insightful content on the Zodiac, personal development, and the deeper mysteries of the universe.